arts do not equal magic. Black is the standard color of crystal forming in infected bodies, yet there are examples of different ones, such as Kay, Angelina, Calcids, and Torifons. The reason is unknown. The battle records are filmed from deployments with 4-star results. Apparently, there is a team park somewhere in the tundras of Terra. Many of the races show characteristics related to the corresponding animal traits. Liberi have good eyesight, Perros are loyal, Forti are stubborn, Honeyberry jumps from high places, etc. She is considered the best assistant Closer has ever had, and granted her a massive bonus merely 3 months after being contracted. She then promptly asked for 1 month of paid vacations with a big smile. Apparently, not even she can endure Closer's BS. She is not friends with Calcid because of her being an ancient vampire. In fact, she is quite young by their standards. They just have good chemistry together. Despises guns and sweets because of parental issues. He is also learning how to be a tactician from the doctor themselves. He has thought about opening a do-it-yourself shop in Rhodes. Originally, she wanted to work at Rhodes for a quick buck and then get some gear fixed, but once the engineering department made even better fixer to her gear, she opted to stay. Has an assortment of items which includes random things like pretty stones, a fallen tooth, and some memorabilia. She even has what is hinted to be an Originium crystal with a speck of blood, which is related to Gabriel. Somehow. He is the developer's proxy. The saw part of his weapon is used only for furniture making, not for combat, despite what his animation shows. Aegir has 0 arts development. This makes her not a spy from said faction. Still pretty much a spy though. Just like Siege is a shoutout to Cyber, and Skyfire is a shoutout to Rin Tousaka, there is a Shiro somewhere out in Terra, making the Fate Trinity. Despite her claims regarding Teen Tails, she seems to like squishing Tomimi's tail from time to time. She is also the one who gifted her swimsuit. Make of that what you will. She is fond of soap operas and TV dramas. She seems to be conceptually based on Satoshi, a character from a long-going series of Japanese films. Because of his build, he needs special clothes made of industrial materials, otherwise he will rip them apart. This thanks to Rhodes' engineering department that she can talk now, but her first words give Wild Mane such a roasting, she didn't set foot at engineering until the modifications were done. She is so desperate for economical alliances with her monastery that people often think she is a businesswoman rather than a nun. Despite her original tease, where she spent over 72 hours at Calcid's operation table, she is not infected. The operation was likely made to mend whatever harm was done by those chasing her. She is an envoy of the deity of her people, just like Permanix, but without the seclusion. Her heavy coat is meant to keep her warm when traveling high in the air. She carries one of Fang's circle stingies as an ear accessory. Make of that as you will. So far, she is the only Bovure that we know of without a tail. Her resistance to poison is not due to her race, but because she has been poisoned many times in her life, all of them by clumsy accidents from her part. Has shown interest in Provence, but she goes all tsundere if asked about it. She blew up her alma mater 17 times in just 3 years. A wall was filled with the names of people turned down by her. It was so big, HR had to put a stop to it. She designed most of the clothes used by the operators. Why do I hear an enraged frog? She is a medical school graduate, her body is just underdeveloped. So artist, you can continue. Morty is not an extension of her subconscious, nor an art device in doll form. He is, by all intents and means, his own being. Annie is considered to be leagues stronger than Morty. She's technically the second operator with a child to look after. The first one, of course, is Cal. Pretty much arknights.exe. One of the killer lines hints at her being at Rhodes, meaning she could become a recruitable unit in the future. He loves to dote on children, keeping candies in his pockets for this very reason. They are looking for someone to become the fourth. She's very good at making cocktails and bartending, becoming a small celebrity at Rhodes Bar. She wants Columbia's equivalent of an Oscar for best makeup and hairstyling. She is working at Rhodes out of her own free will. Miss Christine is not his pet, she just followed him into Rhodes and proceeded to become the queen of all cats aboard. I liked her appearance in other tights better. She moves so fast, her clothes and weapons can burn those who touch them. Her umbrella is neither a wand nor for rain, it's her security blanket. Her clinical analysis is the longest in all of Rhodes, not only because it resumes her background and the origins of her infection, but also because it was written by Calcid. She earned the right to go into battle wearing a dress by beating her superior in 3 seconds. Despite having a similar background without modern utilities like Meteor, Second Best Doggo can pick up and learn how to use modern technologies with relative ease, to the point she is fond of video games and machinery. Her codename is probably an homage to her father, who wished the family to go on a picnic and enjoy a good drink once spring comes around. She is called dumb as a sack of hammers by some unknown member of Rhodes. That is totally her sister. Her dream, or rather bucket list, is to go and travel the world. Give up on her dream of having a mercenary company in order to help Franca with her dream. Make of that what you will. As good twins, hers and Purgatory's E2 art has the same demonic creature in the background. According to her, back in her town, Shinobi also works as Uber delivery. The raccoons appearing in her Elite 2 art and skin are reference to movies, The Godfather, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly respectively. Her victory line about slicing and dicing is incorrect. What she says is that she made mille foulet, a layered cake, meaning she either made a pile of bodies or she sliced someone to look like side cake. She got infected via frequent varied contact with strangers. However, it has been explained that Oreopathy cannot be paced by cohabitation. She is mentioned in Air script files, not by name though, making her the longest in-game tease behind Heavy Rain by just a couple of months. They tie if you count the first anniversary tease. Her skin is a shadow to Gundam, specifically to the very first antagonist in the whole franchise. High Priest is wearing a similar mask as him, and the mech has the same iconic color and horn. Despite not joining Rhodes, he somehow appears from time to time in the arc to pay Eunectes a visit. No one knows how, and Calcit instructed everyone to pay it no mind. She likes flowers so much, she would often pick some from the botanical gardens, to the point she got into the gardener's bad side for it. In Gun Akahuala fashion, they made up by having her fight Flamebringer. Onis as a whole have a healing factor of sorts, yet she has a noticeable scar in her face. This is not a slip from the developer's toe. A said scar was made by none other than Chen during the events of Chapter 7. That doll is actually a grenade. She has psychological studies and treats patients by, you guessed it, aromatherapy. Because why shouldn't she? Okay, fine, she does talk with her patients and even has a little conversational room for it. So she does the bare minimum a psychologist would. The machine beside him is named after his late professor, Thorne. Unlike other robots seen so far, he has some sort of evolving AI, which has led him to help others in ways not set in his programming. Clausur is curious about his future development, definitely a giga chat in the making. Apparently, their face is surprising in some way and their skin is allergic prone. She really likes ice cream.